Hello and welcome to another episode of Discover with Sbenati. I'm your host, Dr. Sbenati, and today we have an amazing episode with an amazing guest, and it is absolutely no exception. We always bring on amazing guests. Today we have Lynn, who is incredible. She is a ball of energy. She actually outdoes my energy, which is really hard to believe, but she does. And she even tells me that she's very similar to me, and she's the same person except in female form. So we'll find out. I'm sure she's a lot better than who I am. Thank you for those who are tuning in to YouTube, and thank you for those who are tuning in to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you're listening on podcasts, whether you're walking your dog or going to the gym. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Today is going to be amazing because we're going to be discussing a lot of things from is fluoride good for you, how to start your business, what things you can do, how challenging it is to be a woman and to be a businesswoman at the same time, and to have a kid and to be a hygienist, all in the same bundle. How to succeed in life, what is the philosophy of success, and so on and so forth. So those are the things we're actually tackling today. Very, very excited to get this thing started. Michelle, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh my goodness. I actually want to thank you for allowing me to come on your show. I first got introduced from you. Someone just asked me, do you know who this is? And I was like, I have no clue who this is. So I was intrigued, and I jumped on your Instagram. I went on your Facebook, so I did a little bit of creeping, and I was like, you're a male version of me.
Okay.
So I was really excited for that, because I was like, because in my world, someone used to say to me, you're going to marry a dentist when you're older. And I was like, honestly, I'm not going to marry a dentist because I can find no dentist that is crazy like I am about teeth, right? So I thought that was really funny that, like, I meet this male version of basically me, and I'm like,
dentist.
And he's a dentist.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, and he's a dentist.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited just to, like, I feel like I've already learned from you with your podcast.
Wow.
I'm really excited about that. And I just have a passion to help people just in life. And my vehicle happens to be teeth. I love teeth. I've wanted to be a hygienist since I was 4. And it's crazy because it's not as glamorous as you think when you're 4, but the avenues or the people that it's brought me to is just like a godsend everywhere.
Right.
And so I'm really excited, like I said, to be here.
That's awesome.
And to share this small little journey with you, however that looks. So
That's awesome.
I'm like, yay, yay.
So why at 4, when you were 4, why hygiene?
Right? So people ask me that all the time because I like to share that story. And I actually spent a lot of time with my aunt. She had dentures, and she's like, keep your teeth. They're so important. They're so important. So I grew up with her seeing the struggles firsthand of what it's like not to have teeth. And then too much information, but my grandpa lived with her, and he was polite enough to whip his dentures out at dinner, lick them off, and throw them back in. And I remember, I don't want teeth like that. Like, that was like...
And you remember this from when you were 4 years old?
Yes. So it's crazy. And then we had horses when I was growing up, and I would always look at the horse's teeth and be like so fascinated with it. And then actually, this is really cool, is my first dental appointment. I was 4, and I met this hygienist, and I went home and said, Mommy, I'm going to do what she does. And the cool thing about this story is I actually went back to that dental office to work. She retired this year, and I said to her, you are amazing, because honestly, like, I said to my mom, I want to do what she does. And so...
And she's the person that you want to be like, and she's retiring this year.
Well, she just retired this year, and she actually works in the same company that I work with.
Wow.
So it's just crazy how things like line up, and just time frames and timings, everything.
So you're born in London?
No, actually, I was born in Ingersoll, which is a small community outside of London. That's where the dental office was that I used to go to.
I got you.
And I just live outside of London now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do, so now just to introduce yourself, so you're a hygienist.
Yes.
Okay, by profession.
Yes.
But you're also an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So you're a hygienist, you've been a hygienist for how long?
So I graduated in 2005, so I'm in 15 years. When I went to school, you had to be an assistant before you could be a hygienist.
Right.
So I graduated from dental assisting in 2000.
Okay.
And then I worked for a few years. I had an amazing boss that taught me a lot of stuff. And I actually debated. I was like, if you want to like let me work 9 to 3 in my childbearing years, I'll stay with you forever. And he was like, no. And I'm like, okay, I'm going back to school to be a hygienist. And really, that was my ultimate dream I had. So I went back to school to be a hygienist. I was fortunate enough to work with him part-time. I worked 3 jobs and went to school full-time so I could afford it. And and then I was offered a couple jobs before I got my license. So it just kind of started rolling.
That's good.
That way, right? And
That's
like,
good. Have you always been lucky? Like, I mean, in finding jobs and like just like getting, like, it seems like you just had kind of direction throughout your life. Has it always been so easy?
No, of course not.
Okay.
Right? But I'm very fortunate that I've always been able to put a spin on things.
Okay.
I think that if I'm being transparent, everyone has a moment in their life that you're never going to be the same again. And that happened for me. I was already a hygienist, and I lost a baby when I was pregnant. And that tragedy, really, I was able to look inward and find out some things that I hadn't really dealt with. And that started really a strong faith journey for me. So I really don't believe in luck. I believe that I'm blessed, and we all have, things are laid out for us, right? How things are kind of happen. It's not what happens, it's how you deal with it. And my struggles, I like to share them because I'm not the only one going through this stuff.
Right.
We all go through stuff.
Of course.
It's not what happens, it's
what
how
you do
you
with it.
deal with it.
That's right.
And the mind is like a beautiful, crazy thing, right? So,
right.
yeah.
So there was a moment in time where you had this like revelation or this like thing, and that thing is what you just described, is that you lost your child when you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And that is very, very like that's traumatic by itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. Okay. And that set you off on a journey of faith, and basically you started rediscovering yourself from then. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah. The only reason I say is because in my life up to that point, I thought becoming a hygienist would solve all my problems because I didn't really come from a family of finances, and I knew my aunt said to me, get a good job and don't rely on no man to take care of you. So I was like, do kind of thing, right? And so I knew hygienists made fairly good money.
Yeah.
And so when I became a hygienist, I started to almost feel like I was invincible and I could do anything. So I did make some poor choices in that journey. And then when I met my son's dad, I was actually like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be a wife, a mother, and a hygienist. He had 2 kids.
That's right.
So I was at what I thought at that moment, I was living the dream.
Right.
And literally, when I found out I was losing the baby, my whole world came
crumbled.
crashing down, and nothing mattered anymore. And that's when I was like, there's got to be more. And I had started, before that had happened, I started like the power of positive and changing your mindset. And
Sorry, I'm going to pause you there. What made you get into that?
You know what?
Like because there's a lot of people that struggle with that. Like a lot of people struggle with seeing the positive. There's always positive.
Yes.
Always.
Yeah.
But a lot of people struggle to see it, right? So what made you even want to even go to that direction? Because that leap is really deep.
Yes. So I will say, my mom has given me the gift to find the positivity in everything. We grew up in a lot of chaos, and I have that habit of when I'm nervous, scared, excited, I just laugh through everything, which is a good thing. I will say sometimes you laugh at a maybe not appropriate time because I'm uncomfortable, but that really right there has been ingrained since I was small.
Okay.
But then I had an amazing friend that I don't know, like I think she might have even came to me with The Secret or something like that. And I was like, I started reading it and it started clicking for me.
Okay.
And then, so that's when I started like digging deep. And then if I'm being transparent, after I lost the baby, I was struggling to go to work and I'd take days off and things like that. And then my girlfriend said, have you ever tried to go to church? And I was like, I've tried everything but God.
Yeah.
I am willing to
Let's try that one.
any avenue.
Right.
And that's really where that journey started. And things started to make a little bit more sense to me. And if I'm real, I had this peace when I laid my head on my pillow at night.
Right.
that there's already a greater plan.
Right.
And it's not what happens, it's how you deal with it.
Right.
But you can change. There's so much you can change, and you have control in your own life, right? And I mean, I was trying to control, like, I had some OCD going on, so trying to control my environment that way, like all these different things.
Well, being in dental, I mean, that OCD is natural.
Yeah, and it actually got worse as I became a hygienist and a dental, because I was like, oh my goodness, and then germs and like all this stuff, right? But it's honestly, if you're gonna pick one way or the other, I'm appreciative of having that issue, I guess. I try to leave my OCD at my job when I'm cleaning teeth at the end of that last 5 minutes to get that last stain off, versus taking it home with me, because not everyone appreciates that.
Okay, so then when did you start doing, so now you've been on this journey of being a dental hygienist. You passed through some struggles. And then you found God. Okay, you found God, which gave you peace, internal peace.
Totally.
Okay, and now you're on this like positivity trend, and I mean, I see the glowing. Okay, you're glowing.
It's probably your light.
It's probably the light. No, but you're glowing. But now you have businesses. Okay, so how did you get into from being a dental hygienist, from wanting to be a dental hygienist all your life, to now you're running businesses? So what made that switch? Because that's not according to your dream. So what happened?
Yeah, so actually my dad is an entrepreneur. He builds houses, was self-employed.
Okay.
So I seen kind of that aspect of you had control over your time, basically. But then also I recognized, for being able to give my family some different dreams, like of traveling and seeing the world, I had to do something different with my finances. And I knew that I wanted to make money overnight. And I was like, how am I gonna do this? So I was blessed enough that the house that we lived in, my son and I drove by that house, and for a year and a half, I said, Maximus, that is our house.
Hold on. Your son's name is Maximus?
Yes.
Get out.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
That's a story in itself, I will say. So it depends on how much time we have, right?
Did I joke around and say I want to name my son Maximus? Okay, go.
It means the greatest, and I'm biased, but he's the greatest. But he took me to the max for my pain tolerance, right? So that's actually, but that's a cool story.
Too funny. Okay.
But yeah, so we drove by this place, and I was like, I always wanted a little hobby farm and horses, and that was my dream as a little girl. And so we drove by, and I was like, Max, that's going to be our house. There's our house. There's our house, Max. There's our house. And then sure enough, pinch me, we're driving up the driveway, and I'm telling my son, Maximus, Mommy is in heaven. Like, I'm so grateful. He went to his daycare and told his daycare that his mom was in heaven. And she told me that, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's because I drive up my driveway every day being so grateful that I live at my property.
You bought the house?
I didn't buy it. I had the opportunity to rent it. But this is the cool mindset thing is, in the natural, a lot of people think you need to own a house. Okay? So,
and that's how I know you're an entrepreneur. But go on.
Yeah,
I know where you're going with this. Yeah, go on.
So I looked at that place and I was like, wow, I can do this. So I basically live rent-free at my place because I rented out my barn to a woman that has horses, which pays enough to pay my rent. My drive shed, which I have like RVs and things in that, pays for my oil because it's an old farmhouse. So I was like, you know what? I appreciate that a house is a safe investment, but let's be real, I don't live on safety. So I live on faith, and I was like, I'm okay, my ego can handle it. I don't need to own a house because I can invest somewhere else. Smart. So that's what we did. And then there's just small things that I look for opportunities that are gonna help us. And I mean, my number one drive, if I'm being transparent, is I believe in the power of Jesus. I love, love, love my son. And that little human motivates me so much so that I can show him the world, because we have such a beautiful world out there. And I love that I grew up on a hobby farm. I shoveled manure. I know what hard work is. But I was stuck in this little tiny naive bubble about what was out there. And it's just absolutely incredible because my son's dad, he was history, geography. And I was like, history's in the past. geography, I can color a map. I don't care. If it's not teeth, I don't even care. So he opened up my eyes to this whole other world. My son's baby shower was world maps and globes. His first word was Asia. So I believe he's doing something big in Asia. I have no idea yet what, but it's just really cool because like, it's just so many different things bring you to a spot.
Right.
And like you said, my ultimate goal was just to be a wife, a mother, and a hygienist.
Okay, so hold up.
I know, sorry, I'm getting so excited.
I'm gonna stop you. So you were a hygienist.
Yeah.
You saw a house.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're gonna get this house, Maximus.
Yeah.
And then that led you on to becoming an entrepreneur?
Well, I've always been one, I guess, right? If I think about it, like, but I just was like, okay, I'm renting out the house because that's gonna make us
And you got
money.
you got influence from your dad.
I would say a little bit.
You saw how your dad interacted with like in his business.
Yeah.
And so you kind of got that flavor.
Yes.
From him.
And then I added, like, the same friend that got me into The Secret, I watched her grow her company from the ground up.
Yeah.
As I became a hygienist, she was opening her company.
Yeah.
And they're entrepreneurs, and I seen the possibility
Of course.
that could be out there, right?
Of course.
So that's kind of what drove me. But I just, like, I want to help people, and I feel like I have more to give than sitting behind a mouth too as well.
That's amazing.
So that's why I'm really excited. And then I discovered an online company that literally is the vehicle to get me to help as many humans as possible basically get their dreams too as well.
What's that?
So it's New Skin is the company, and I call myself a toothpaste dealer, which is right up my alley because I have tried other multi-level marketings, and I just, at the end of the day, every time I tried it, I was like, it's not teeth. It's not my thing. Like, I don't want to take away from my thing because that's what I was called to do. So when I got introduced with this toothpaste, I'm like, this is a no-brainer, right? So, and then of course all the other products that we sell is like, I get paid to wash my hair, I get paid to wash my face. Like when I'm in the shower, I'm literally like, I'm getting paid to take care of myself. So and they really focus on inner and outer beauty, and that's really kind of what I wanted to focus more on, my inner beauty than my outer beauty, and just naturally kind of.
What's the company called?
New Skin.
New Skin.
New Skin. They've been around since 1983.
Okay.
And they were a typical multi-level marketing,
Okay.
where you had to sit down with someone and talk. But now with social media, it's crazy the amount of people that you can meet. Like I have people on my team I've never even physically met, and I'm helping change their lives by toothpaste, basically, right?
Multi-level marketing, you're talking about like pyramid schemes?
Well, this is the thing, as a pyramid scheme, someone has to lose for someone to gain. So that's kind of where that scheme comes in, if you ask me. Yes.
Okay.
So New Skin, it's multi-level marketing, but literally there's no fee to join.
Right.
And the products legitly work.
Yeah.
So it's mind-blowing how easy and simple it is. That's the whole thing, is it's simple and it's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's be real, you got to treat it like a business.
Of course.
So you got to work it. Like when I was working as a hygienist, I would get up at 4:30 in the morning. I would watch a video for the company from 5 to 5:30. I would spend some time in prayer. I would do my little tasks. My son would then come beaming out of bed about 6:30. We would spend some amazing quality time together, but then we would fly him to school. I would fly to work. I would work 9 to 4 straight through as a hygienist, no break, because I needed the most amount of hours, and I wanted to be able to be a mom. The bus would drop my son off at work at 4:15, and I was done at 4 o'clock. So as a dental professional, you'll appreciate that is a tight schedule to be like, my son's bus is coming. I gotta like book it. I was still on that rat race with him.
Right. For how long?
So I helped out. It was a contract job because I was only taking contract jobs because I wanted to be able to spend the most time with my son and design my own hours. And the cool thing is I was working 8 to 5, and I went to him and I said, I have to work 9 to 4 straight through, or I can't work with you because I need to be a mom first. And he was like, no problem. I was like, yeah, praise God. So we did that from September when he started school. Yeah. And then I won
This past September?
Yep.
Okay.
And I won a Disney VIP trip through the company.
Wow.
So I got to go to California. And the crazy thing about this is, so I actually booked a Disney cruise for my son and I for this coming October. And I was like, I get to go to Disney. That's one of my dreams, is I've always wanted to go to Disney. I'm a big kid. And so then when I booked that, shortly after, I went a Disney VIP through the company, and I was like, 2020 is the perfect vision, and I'm going to Disney or experiencing Disney twice, and like it was mind blowing for me. I was like, I'm still in pinch me mode about that. So they actually shut down Space Mountain for New Skin, and we rode that ride like for an hour nonstop. I was gonna vomit by the time we got off of it. There were so many experiences in that moment that was just like in a short period of time. This company has allowed me to do that.
So you've been with them since?
So I joined actually in November 2018. Okay. And the first month really went well, but then it's like life, it kind of, and then I was still dealing with some residual of just the separation with my son's dad and everything like that. And so I kind of got through that. And when everything finally settled, I would say in October, I had another good slap in the face, humble pie moment. And I was like, I need to take control back of my life.
Well, you have to talk about it, you know that.
Yeah, if you want to know.
Yeah. What's the humble pie moment?
Yeah, so I waited, so after I became...
But then you have to continue the story. Like
okay.
I'm interjecting because I'm like, how can you just gloss over that? So continue your
Perfect,
humble
this
pie.
is what you're undigging is, right? Is what you're saying?
So yes.
So remind me, because I'm kind of like a dog and a squirrel when I get talking.
So humble pie moment.
Humble pie moment is...
First we were talking about how long you've been with the company, and you were telling me with the journey, and then now October.
Perfect,
okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I actually, since becoming a believer and loving Jesus, my number one thing is that you put him first, you put your husband, you put your son, and then or your children, and then you put your career. So I thought I met a man that loved Jesus, and he was the one, and he was a gift from God, and that wasn't the case. So we had some struggles in May, and then in November, like kind of right punch to the face, we break up, and that dream again kind of was like, what are you doing wrong, Michelle? Like, you know, because I'm like, I thought this guy was the one. And so after that, instead of going into depression or like, why me? I was like, I just fueled it. And I was like, you know what? God just gave me the opportunity to be flung back, to be flung forward like an arrow, because he has someone better for me. So I was able to turn it around and recognize that I was still settling to some degree, because my one biggest dream is to be a wife. And that's probably the hardest thing to accomplish in my life right now, if I'm being real. So
well, because you're on the go.
Yes, and let's be real. I had a little bit of baggage going on with some stuff that if you don't heal yourself, you're going to bring it to that person. And when a lot of times they have stuff going on too as well, right? So I think
everyone has baggage.
Exactly. So it's just like, it's not what happens, it's how you deal with it. But I also believe, like, really, I'd been praying and God interjected and was like, because he's not the one, which is, that's weird because I thought he was, right?
But this was recent, right?
October,
this past October.
Yeah. So, but it's
so then hold on. I'm gonna try to piece up the puzzle.
I know you're trying.
So you joined in November of 2018.
Yeah.
Okay, the New Skin.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you started doing it, and then you got humble pied in October.
Yes.
Okay, and then now we're in February.
So yeah.
So how has your journey been with the business so far?
Amazing in the sense of like. So now that you uncovered my humble pie moment, when I joined the business, I had just started really dating that gentleman. So I got distracted by that. And so I really didn't focus on the business. And I dove hard, right? Because I had all this free time now.
Right.
And when your son is 4.5 and goes to bed at 8 o'clock, what are you doing?
That's right.
I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
I don't.
You work on your business.
And plus also, I'm not the mom that gets someone to babysit my kids all the time, because that little human is growing so fast.
Of course.
He's going to look at me and be like, Mom, I want to go to my friends. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm your mom.
Yeah. I'm your best friend.
So it's that short of window of time in the grand scheme of life. Like, he's the most important thing right now, other than, you know, my business and Jesus, basically.
Okay. So the thing that you have right now.
Yeah.
Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, like, because right now what I'm getting from you is that you're very successful in your business, right?
Yes, I'm
True,
climbing
true
up
or
the
not true?
ladder.
Okay.
I'm climbing up the
And
ladder.
you've been with them for just over a year.
Yes, but I only
Okay.
really took it seriously since the end of October. Like literally that situation happened, I think, on a Friday, Saturday night. And
Yeah.
Monday morning, I was like, game on.
Okay.
So just that whole shift.
Okay, but you have in terms of business.
Yeah.
We're talking business. I know in business, like we always mix up our personal like things with business.
Yeah.
But it's hard to separate it. Okay.
It can be.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think effective business people are able to categorize, not separate, but categorize.
Yes.
Right, so that they don't let their emotions from their personal life dictate what happens with their business.
Right.
Right? Because if we run business based on emotions, the business goes down and up, like our
Totally.
emotions.
Yes.
Okay? We don't want that for a business. So how do you make sure that your business succeeds despite what's happening in your personal life?
It's really just a mindset because like you said, like I'm able to now control my emotions a lot better than I ever used to be, right? Because I think you need to feel them, but then you just need to, what are you going to do with them?
Okay.
So I channel my energy into helping other people. I do a lot of personal development as I do a lot of personal development is really what it comes down to, right? Like,
Okay.
and I mean, I pray like nobody's business because that's what it is, right? So I feel like I get direction that way, just calm myself after the situation's occurred.
Yeah.
And then you can have more clear choices about how to move forward.
Okay.
Because
So
does
then
that answer your
no.
question? No,
So-
you're like, no, it
not
does
really.
not.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
So in terms of business,
Yeah.
coming from a business perspective, how do you make sure that you succeed in business?
Oh, I have lists and I have daily tasks that I need to get done, and I do them. And I will say, if you're not feeling it, then I step back. I kind of put on a crazy song, get in the good space, and then
Get in state.
Yes, Tony would say, get in state, right? Change your state or whatever,
That's right.
So
Whatever.
yeah, it's true.
But you did UPW. You did Unleash the Power Within.
Yes, I did. I
Okay.
walked on fire. That was pretty incredible
Right.
experience
Right.
because and that's actually what made me another thing that made me realize like I've been dealing with the mind for so long, and
Yeah.
I know I can see in my life where I was doing personal development and I wasn't, and just how you surround that. And I guess from my perspective, because I do. Like I literally go to the Bible, and that's I think where it's the personal development actually comes, right? Because now my number one goal is just to really reveal Jesus to people and what that means for me and how he's changed my life.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I can get my business to the next level.
Okay.
Is that fair?
So you use your faith to propel your business. But then
Yeah.
in terms of strategies, in terms of marketing, in terms of, your numbers, your money numbers, who taught you all that?
So the business teaches you that. So that's the cool thing about the business that I'm in, right? Is it's helped my other businesses because really I invested in a business in a box, but I like to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
So they literally tell you this is what you should do to get to this next level to be able to go like. Max and I are going from Hawaii. We're staying in New York for 2 days, and then we're going on the Disney cruise. Like that is mind blowing. And they told me they're telling me how to get there. Like how many people I need on my team, or how many tubes of toothpaste I need to sell, or whatever, right? So it's crazy how simple it actually is.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm still not answering your question.
No. So you're getting guidance from the company.
Yes, completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think that someone else can do the same thing that you've done in terms of like specifically with that company?
Oh my goodness.
With New Skin?
I will tell you, I'm like still an entry level in the business.
And you're already traveling?
Yes.
Expenses paid?
So when I won the Disney cruise, I did pay for my flight, but Hawaii is completely expenses paid.
Wow.
So, and I get to
Through
take
the company?
through the company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the cool thing is there's 2 trips a year. So they're actually going to Australia in April.
Wow.
And then Hawaii in October.
And you're going?
I'm going to Hawaii in October.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Why not Australia?
because I didn't qualify, because I wasn't taking the business serious enough
I
at
got
that
you.
point, right? Because you have to be at a certain level,
I got you.
obviously,
Yep.
to get the rewards.
Yeah.
But they teach you absolutely everything. We have the best team support.
Right.
Like, I work with a hygienist. A lot of the people in the company are hygienists because
Makes
we
sense.
lead with the toothpaste. Other parts of people in the world, they lead with other products in the
Right,
company,
right.
but they simplified this company so literally anybody can do it.
Okay.
It's just doing the tasks that they say
Yeah.
because it's gonna actually make you personally grow.
Right.
Right? Like
Right. So
doing
all the
social-
training happens online, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. And you watch videos. You have someone to contact, someone to call on the phone.
Yeah.
Maybe do a little bit of live sessions.
Exactly.
And then you're set to go.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
crazy. And,
they
honestly,
they pay for all the marketing as well, I'm guessing.
well, here's
No.
the thing is no
Okay.
in the aspect of, but you put, this is how it starts, is basically when you get someone to join the company, they put up one post on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah. And you have to do the rest.
And you just start
Yeah.
they'll give you the post. So for example, when someone joins my team, I'll give them the first 4 posts.
Yeah.
There's time frames that you need to post it in, so
Yeah.
there's little rules and kind of guidelines that you do.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, what it comes down to is you'll succeed as long as you don't quit.
Huh.
And that's kind of like life.
That's good. Right.
Right?
Right.
Like if you think about it.
Right.
And the cool thing about the personal growth that comes is the more personal growth you do,
Uh-huh.
the more people you're able to help.
Okay.
And it's absolutely crazy
With
how
toothpaste?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
What's the link between personal growth and toothpaste?
well, really, like to do some of the things that they request you to do in the business, you need to have personal growth, right?
Like what?
Because fear comes in the way of so many people of doing
Yes.
lives, for example,
Yes,
right?
yes.
You have to do a live. Like, as you can tell, I'm a natural talker,
Yes, you are.
but I'm not gifted when it comes to techie stuff. So I've had to personally grow in that area,
I see.
reach out to people.
Like challenge yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, to be honest, why I'm sitting here is because when I seen you, I
Yeah.
was like, I need to know what he does and
Right.
how he does it
Right.
because I need to be better like that.
Right.
So reach out to the strongest person that you know that does that and does that well.
To get beyond your comfort zone so you can improve yourself and get to the next level.
Exactly. Because
Right.
like, I was just like, I just messaged him and was like, we got to work together. And then I'm like, and I'm coming on your show. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like that simple.
Yeah, yeah.
But that took a little bit of
Of
like,
courage.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
of
I'm
course.
sure not as many people are doing that, just reaching
Yeah.
out like, I'm on your show.
No.
Get me on here now.
Usually I get referred. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Usually people tell
I
me.
referred myself.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's actually seriously, no, that's amazing. I actually would love that. I love people that actually. I love to be on your show. Can I be on your show? I'm like, sure, come on my show.
I know, it's like
Yeah.
no biggie.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No worries, and you're doing great, by the way.
Thank you.
So business.
Yeah.
Okay, and how do you feel about you being a businesswoman, raising a kid, being a hygienist? How do you feel about all this? Is it overwhelming? Can you manage it? Do you see yourself doing this long term? What can you say to that?
Well, I mean, the real big thing is I'm super, super blessed that I'm able to do it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's no looking back.
Okay.
Like, I'm definitely an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I'm definitely like, I just want to move forward because I want to give everything that I'm learning to my son.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, he's not going anywhere.
Right.
And I don't know how much time we all have, like really, right? So
Yeah.
I want to try to do the most in the shortest period of time. But my goal is really just to be able to help people get freed from their junk basically and be able to do the same thing. Anybody can sit here with you and share their life struggles because
Yeah.
we all have
Of course, we all have a story.
inspirations and we all have stories
Right.
that help you, right? And that's the cool thing is I meet so many people that I'll be sitting in the chair like cleaning their teeth
Yeah.
and they say something to you that you're just like, wow, that's pretty profound,
Right,
right?
right.
And that's the cool thing is this whole, like I believe everything's about relationships.
Of course.
And that's how you grow and learn and get connected with people.
Absolutely.
And like when I was in California, before I went, I was like, I just put out there, like I kind of like, I do little chants or mantras or whatever people want to
Yeah,
call them.
yeah.
And I knew going there that I was going to meet people that I should meet. And I had the president of New Skin come up to me and physically talk to me. I didn't even have to go over and talk to him. He physically came to me, scouted me out, and started talking to me. And I was like, because I've been putting out there that I'm going to be at the top of the company. And when I was sitting,
that's what you want to do. Okay.
Only because if I'm being real, I love the products, but also to the fact that the finances that you make sitting at the top of the company is what I would make in 1 month, some people make in a year. And that's going to give me the opportunity to travel the world and show my son. But God really told me that when my finances increase, don't increase your lifestyle. I actually don't need or want anything. I am beyond blessed when it comes to that sort of stuff. I don't have what maybe everyone else would want, but I just want to be able to help people with financial struggles, if I'm being real, because I think that's a barrier that a lot of people have a hard time overcoming. And so now that I've been given the gift to be able to help people do that, but I want to teach them how to do it, kind of thing, right?
Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Do you know?
So,
okay.
Yes, I see what you're saying. So when you say that you want to help people, basically you want to help people get on the whole business train. That's what you're saying. And for them to get on the business train, you would be their apprentice, or they'd be your apprentice. Like they'd learn through you, basically.
Yeah,
right?
like we're a team, right?
Exactly. And so then you would form a team with them, teach them, and then they then would grow, and then you would grow as they grow, you would grow, and then they would then form teams, and then you guys would all grow.
It's duplication.
Right.
Yeah. And I just feel
now I understand.
Perfect.
I got you.
Honestly, like.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So how can someone join this?
Just message me.
That's it? That's simple?
Simply message me. I give you a sign up link. I give you your first post. You put it on social media, and we roll with it.
And what kind of commitment are you asking of them?
I guess putting up the first post, you need to get 10 comments within 30 minutes, and that's it.
What if they don't get 10 comments in 30 minutes?
You will get 10 comments in 30 minutes. I have no doubt, because I can say 10 comments in 30 minutes, as you can tell, right?
Okay.
So it's really.
We don't get 10 comments in 30 minutes.
Well, that's why I'm here. I have to teach you something too, apparently, right?
So how do you get 10 comments in 30 minutes?
Well, so actually what happens is you make your post public.
Yeah.
And then we have a boost group through our team, because we're so supportive.
Yeah.
And so they post the post.
Yeah.
We share it to the boost group.
Yeah.
And then.
So everyone comments from the company?
Yes.
Is that what
basically.
I got you.
But the cool thing is, I mean, when I started, I only had 3,500 people on my Facebook. Well, you can max out at 5,000. So I was like, I was adding everybody and their mother.
You started off at 3,500?
Yeah. And believe it or not, it sounds crazy. I actually legitly knew all of those 3,500.
I believe you.
I have worked in over 300 dental offices.
What?
From London to Mississauga. I know.
300.
300. I lost track counting, but it's been over 300.
What?
Because I did so much temping.
Okay, yeah, you'd have to.
So in 1 week, I could be in 4 or 5 different offices.
Right.
And it got to the point that I was sitting in clinic, and I'm like, where are we? St. Thomas, London, Mississauga?
Yeah.
I don't know where I am right now, right?
Okay.
But that's the cool thing about it is, people like my friends are like, Michelle, how do you do that? And it's like, you know what? That's part of my gift to some degree,
That's
right?
Because
because
your brain is wired like that.
And I just knew that the more people I get connected with, the more I'm going to grow and learn.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting in the same thing, doing the same thing with your blinders on,
then you're going to be the same. You're not going to grow.
Yeah.
And if you're not growing, you're
dying.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hashtag Tony Robbins.
Oh, maybe that's why I knew it naturally. I did not know about that. But yeah, he's incredible, right? And that was a life-changing, but that kind of fueled a little bit and stuff. But that's the cool thing is like you kind of go 10 steps forward and then you might go a few back.
Yes.
And it's kind of like a perfect dance, right?
Yes.
Because it's like and it's like, or like the arrow. I always like the arrow because it makes me feel like stronger to be like pulled back and then shot forward kind of thing.
Propelled.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And then also, to be honest, as I say, I usually just say humble pie.
Yes.
It's good to have those challenges come up because it's like, it's not I guess it's not happening to you, it's happening for you.
Okay.
And if you look at it that way, then that's a lot easier to take the struggles, because sometimes when life hits you with something that you're like, wow, that felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't really like this.
Yeah. So what do you do?
Well, now I just like literally pause and sometimes don't respond
Okay.
or react.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you can kind of clearly think it, because you have to filter through those emotions because they're real.
Right.
And then
And you have to deal with them somehow.
then you have to deal with them,
Yeah.
and how you're going to deal with it. And it's
Right.
just like, I'm very passionate, so I used to be
I can
like
tell.
hard on my sleeve, right?
Mm.
So I've learned to be able to work through that and take some breaths and then reevaluate, like, what am I going to learn from this?
Right.
How am I going to deal with this? And it's cool. It takes me out of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
so I can grow.
Right.
And then again, it's like, well, you know what? I probably just am able to share this with someone else, so then I can prevent them from having to go through it.
Right.
And that's huge. And that's how I look at a lot of things, is my growth is stemmed so my son won't have to struggle with some of the things that I struggled
Right.
with. So that is like, when you have a little human in front of you that
That gives you a different kind of motivation, right?
completely,
Right, of course.
completely.
It gives you a different
Yeah.
kind of direction. That's right.
For
That's
sure.
right.
They're
That's right.
literally watching and seeing. And I just like, we talk, my son's 4.5, and I say, you know, your words can heal
Mm-hmm.
or they can hurt. Your hands can heal
Mm-hmm.
or they can hurt.
Absolutely.
Make choices.
Nice.
And
And you're teaching them that from 4.5.
my son taught me, and it's not that I didn't know it, but when he looked at me, and he was probably about 3.5, and he said, "Mommy, fear's a liar."
Really?
And I was
Wow.
like, yes, Maximus, it is. And it's funny how you don't realize how much they're watching and stuff. And he knows to go to God and pray for the smallest things, because he cares about absolutely everything. He cares that,
That's impressive.
you know, this person is struggling. And my son, when he goes to school, if something's challenging him or someone's challenging him, because at 4.5, he's already had these little situations, he knows to just say, no, thank you, walk away. And I say, and what do you do?
At 4.5.
Yeah, I say, and you pray for them. So it was a really cool opportunity when my nephew was struggling, who's 11. My son was life coaching his 11-year-old nephew
Wow.
about choices.
Wow.
And that's really impactful.
Big time. To
Like-
say the least. To say the least. Okay, before we venture into like very deep things. Okay, so
We're not deep already. I'm like sweating.
You're sweating.
I'm just joking.
Come on, now we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
So okay, no. So let's talk about. So we talked about the business. We know that, you know, if anyone wants to join you, they just contact you, and your email, you'll give it to me so then I can share it with everybody. So her email address will be in the description box below. So make sure you guys go email her if you want to join her.
Join on Facebook.
And join on Facebook too.
I do most of my business on Facebook.
Okay,
to
yeah.
be
So I'll
real.
put her link on Facebook, and I'll put the link for Instagram and her her email address as well. Okay. Would you consider it to be your own? It's not your own company. It's kind of like your own subsidiary company.
So they say it's your business, you work your business. That's how our company talks about it, right?
Yes.
Like New Skin. So I actually I call it my toothpaste company.
Yeah.
So if people
So
say,
it's your business under the umbrella of New Skin. Okay.
Yes.
But you don't have an actual company name.
no,
Okay.
yeah.
Which is cool.
I call it my toothpaste company.
Yeah.
If you're like, I like your lip gloss, I'm like, my toothpaste company
Yeah.
sells that. Because
Yeah.
everyone associates me with the toothpaste. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about toothpaste, because this is something I want to talk about, and you know that.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Controversial topic: fluoride.
Yes.
Does your toothpaste have fluoride?
Yes. So we do have both non-fluoridated and fluoride.
Okay.
But the one that I promote all the time
Is the
fluoride one.
Good.
Yeah.
So we have nothing to talk about then.
Yeah.
So okay. So then you're pro fluoride. Aren't
Yes.
you? Okay. So okay. Wow. I thought we were going to talk about the non-fluoridated
Well,
one. But let's. Oh,
Okay.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I did work at a holistic office.
Yes.
And they do not promote fluoride,
Okay,
right? So
okay.
I guess my thing is coming from both worlds.
Yes.
There's, I would say, 99% of people probably would benefit from fluoride. So that's why I do promote it. But I appreciate their aspect of fluoride is a drug. Too much of it isn't good. But I'm challenged with that statement only because what are they eating? You know, what are they watching? Like, it's incredible how people get so stuck on fluoride. And I'm
they
like,
ignore everything else.
Exactly. And to be real, my toothpaste, I had a hygienist that was like, well, that's not even FDA approved. And I'm like, FDA, that's food. And she's like, I can't use that. And I was just like,
What, your toothpaste?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because there's like still, I think we are just launching North America. Like, it's still not really well known, right? The market is like white, no pun intended. And, but yet she won't use that in her mouth. She works at a dental office. And
she probably uses other things that are not FDA approved as well.
Here's the deal is like, she eats McDonald's every day. So
that's not FDA approved. Okay. Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Hold up. So let's talk about whitening.
Yes.
Teeth whitening.
Yes.
Okay. So this is something that you're talking about. They're touting to be revolutionary, and you're saying they don't use hydrogen peroxide, which which I've talked about in my videos.
Okay.
So, and I'll be talking about it again in my videos. Now, I want to know your perspective on what cleans what, because you know there's intrinsic staining and there's extrinsic staining. Extrinsic staining is, for those that are watching, extrinsic staining is the staining that is outside the teeth, okay, just on the surface, okay, and then intrinsic is inside, embedded into the tooth. So what I know, and you can educate me because I'm willing to be educated.
Awesome.
What I know is that extrinsic staining is tackled with such things as silica, like abrasives, okay? Intrinsic is tackled with chemicals, and only chemicals, such as hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide, what it does is it tackles those pigmentations, basically tears them apart, and then you get to see the light bounce off of your teeth, which makes them white. Okay? That's how I know hydrogen peroxide works. Now, you're saying that the toothpaste, AP24, has some other kind of way that it whitens by tackling the intrinsic staining?
Well, this is the crazy thing about the toothpaste.
Okay.
And I will say it's mind-boggling and mind-blowing because we actually don't have peroxide in the toothpaste. There is, like, if you ask what the active ingredient is to remove the stain, it's silica and fluoride, right? And like you said, the intrinsic stain, generally, like the whitening toothpaste on the market basically are removing extrinsic stain.
That's right.
So your teeth appear whiter.
That's right.
So when I started using this toothpaste, another reason why I didn't maybe take it as seriously in the beginning is I was so obsessed with my mouth. I was like, I don't know a lot about this toothpaste. I don't know what it's going to do to my teeth. So I was only using it once a day. As soon as I used it, I was like, my teeth feel like, even right now, that I just brushed them. Like, and I had a coffee, like, I mean, I did just brush them before I came, let's be real. But all day long, like after I drink a coffee, I'm like, my teeth feel super clean. I've never personally did a full session of whitening in my mouth because I was like...
but have you gone from like a low shade to a high shade with the toothpaste?
Yes, my results are mind-boggling.
And do you talk about that on your social media?
Yes, I do. I even show them. I will show you. You can tag my personal results with...
So tag me in the comments. Okay, and then when we post this, in the comments section, make sure you also like somehow make an indication of where to find that video.
For sure.
Because I'd like to see it.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Thank you so much for being on the show. We talked a lot.
I know.
And I got lost because what I was trying to do is I was trying to get out because being a female entrepreneur is extremely difficult. Being being a businessman or businesswoman is difficult in itself, just by itself. Now add to it a female component that makes it even tougher. Okay. Now add to it that you're a single mom and that you have multiple businesses, because you also said that I know you didn't say it on the podcast, but you said before that you also you rent out your space, okay, which is a business, and you do hygiene. So like you're doing a million things at once, and you still have a smile on your face. So I find that really fascinating. And so that's why I want to dig at that point.
Okay.
So we did that.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to see what your viewpoint on the whitening aspect of the AP24, which sounds really interesting. And I want to check it out. I actually want to see. I want to go on online and check it out on your Facebook.
Well, I'm going to give you a tube. Do you realize?
Okay, good.
That?
And
Yeah.
I'm going to check it. And
Exactly.
I'm gonna see
You
myself.
have to take before and after
I
pictures.
will.
That's all I request.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. Okay. So thank you so much for being on the show. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks for reaching out. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much for
it's been
having me. I'm like beyond pumped that I got to spend some time with you and and pick some brains and things like that about just where dentistry is at, right?
Yes.
So,
And
that's what I'm really excited.
We'll talk about that after as well.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the YouTube and to the podcast. It's been an amazing, amazing episode, and we'll see you next time as we discover some more.